Thank you, Andy. Welcome to the Roberta Clemente Charter School Board of Trustees meeting for Tuesday evening, April 21st, 2026. Thank you for all that are in attendance here and for those that are by Zoom or that watch later on. Thank you for your time. And prior to tonight's board meeting, the board entered into executive session to discuss personnel and real estate matters. So if we could continue on, please, to look at the agenda, a review of the agenda. And then now let's go to a review of the minutes that was submitted earlier. So I know everyone has read it. Thank you, Alex. Do we have a motion to accept the minutes?
Motion to accept the minutes.
Thank you, Jill. We need a second.
Second.
Gus.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, all in favor of approval of the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. So next on our agenda is public input. At the moment, seeing no public, but we'll come back to that toward the end of our agenda. So let's go to the CEO office report, please, and I'd like to pass the baton to Alyssa.
Thank you, Dr. Colombo. Good evening, everyone. From the CEO office tonight, first, I am presenting for the board's approval the 2026-2027 contract renewal list. The individuals listed are recommended for continued employment with Roberta Clemente Charter School for the next school year, 2026-27.
Thank you. We need a motion, please, for the renewal list, for approval of the renewal list.
That motion?
Thank you, John. We need a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Kathy. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
A few other items to highlight. Coming up before the end of the year, we have some exciting events, K-12, but I'll highlight a few for our secondary campus. So on Thursday, June the 4th at 6 p.m., our drama club, which was restarted this year, will be having two performances, two one-act plays that they will be performing in our gym. And then during intermission, the dance club will be having a performance. So we're very excited for those two clubs to be active again, another opportunity for our students to participate in the greater school community, display their creativity. So again, that's on Thursday, June the 4th at 6 p.m. And I want to thank Mrs. McGinnis and Mr. Grady, who helped to get the drama club started again, and also Miss Nunez, who is working with our dance club. This is not in my report, but I do want to highlight that this year we are having a combined art show with elementary and secondary together at the Allentown Art Museum. Yes. And a big shout out to Mr. Rose. He's our secondary art teacher. He put this in motion almost a year ago, is when he established that contact to get that going. So our students' artwork will be on display from Thursday, May the 28th through Sunday, June 7th. And we'll also be having a public reception where the museum will just be for our school community on Saturday, the 30th from 1 to 3. So we're excited for this opportunity to display our students' artwork in the greater community. And we're thankful for the Allentown Art Museum for allowing us the access to their space to demonstrate the talent of our students.
It's about a week.
Oh, that's May 30th. Yeah.
Yep,
It's
Saturday,
May
May 30th.
Oh.
But the work will be on display publicly from the 28th through June 7th.
Okay.
Yep.
That is so exciting. So lovely for, yeah, facilities.
Another event that I want to publicly highlight during the board meeting tonight, and I'll highlight it again in June, is that this year is the 50th anniversary of our founding organization, the Hispanic American Organization. I did share with the board members a flyer that I received from Mrs. Pierce today. The school will be helping to host this very special celebration, this anniversary event on Friday, June the 26th. It will be from 2 to 8 p.m. in our secondary gym. There will be a variety of events from 2 to 5. There will be HAO milestones, events, services on display in our gym. And then at 5 p.m. there will be a program where they will be celebrating HAO, recognizing some of their most influential board members and contributees to the organization. And then following that program, there will be food and dancing for the community. And we're happy to host that event in our gym.
Shoes, baby.
So Mrs. Pierce wanted me to ensure that our board was invited. And we're looking forward to helping to host this event in HAO's honor. And then lastly, I just want to give a really big shout out to our principals for PSSA and Keystone testing. That has really monopolized the majority of their time between the last board meeting and now. A big shout out to our teachers and staff for their flexibility during the testing windows. There's a lot of secure testing protocols, scheduling adjustments, student rostering accommodations that we make. So we just are really thankful that they are flexible and supportive to ensure that our students have the best testing environments possible. And then also a shout out to our students. They really demonstrated a lot of perseverance. You may have heard that the state experienced some connectivity and technology issues with the server this year that impacted the online testing platform, not just our school, all schools in the state of Pennsylvania, which was very frustrating. During the testing themselves, students were getting kicked off the platform. They were having to sign in multiple times. And they really demonstrated a great amount of patience and respect for the testing environment. And I was very impressed with our students and staff during that time. So just kudos to everyone involved with PSSA and Keystone testing. I'm thankful that our principals had that under control and were able to ensure that their staff and their students were set up for success. And that's all I wanted to highlight for this month.
How long did instruction last? It was just a whole day or?
So on Monday, we got logged in pretty well. And then I would say around like 9 o'clock, started to have some intermittent issues. Tuesday hit harder. Wednesday was, or was it Tuesday? Which day did you guys have the big?
The day after.
Wednesday, so then we
Yeah,
took the
that's right.
Thursday. So on Wednesday, the elementary school couldn't even get on the testing platform. It was over an hour of attempting to connect. So Corey made the call in coordination with our IT department to scrap it and test the next day. The state did acknowledge that it was out of their control and they did everything they could to remedy it in the moment. And it had nothing to do with the fact that everyone was required to take online testing this year. So I think there was some hiccups in general. Thankfully, we though, as an LEA, as a school, have been online testing for 5 years now. So it has become routine. Our IT department is fantastic. I want to shout them out also. They demonstrate a patience that is beyond me. They are able to assess, identify, remedy technology issues quickly with a calmness that really just helps to maintain a professional environment for everybody. So very thankful for what everyone did during those times. And we still have a couple more days. Mr. Durek's still finishing it up for everybody.
Okay, thank you,
That's all.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments for the CEO office? Let's go to the principal offices, and first we'll start with the high school.
Thank you.
Mr. Bureau.
Good evening. I'd just like to start with some celebrations. In addition to Keystones, we also just finished up our AP exams last week. We had 4 AP tests that we offered this year. So I want to give a shout out to my proctors. They're also the AP teachers. They did not proctor for their subject, but they helped proctor the tests. So I want to give a shout out to Dr. Land. He proctored our AP Spanish test, which is the first time we've done an AP Spanish language and culture exam. And it included a listening section on the test and a speaking
cool.
section on the test. And he did a great job like figuring out how to administer that and make sure the equipment was working properly that we needed to use. So big shout out to him. I wanted to shout out Mr. Burgermeister. He not only proctored AP Lit, but he also proctored AP Stats. So he was very, very willing to step up and help out with that. Shout out to Miss Reynolds, who not only practiced AP World History, but also she's basically not been in her classroom for like the past month because we've been doing testing in her room. So she's been for a lot of her classes, she's been in other rooms, so she's had to be a little bit all over the place, but she's been doing a good job with that, and big shout out to her.
You're sure there isn't more than just one of them?
Is that?
I said, you sure there isn't more than just one of her?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
She
just her.
toned herself.
Yeah, yeah.
God bless her. God bless her.
Also, just wanted to give a shout out to my Keystone proctors. We're finishing up our lit Keystones tomorrow, and anybody who is absent, we will get in tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. But big shout out to them for helping to run those and maintaining testing procedures. I also want to give a big shout out to Miss Cabrera. She's our high school IA. She's always willing to help out. She always comes with a smile and a positive attitude. She's just great to work with. On one of our testing days last week, we had quite a few staff absences, and she was more than willing to get in the rooms to cover, to help out. She called me once or twice, like, hey, there's nobody in this room. Do you need me to go over there? And like, she was really very helpful, and she's just a great, great person to work with. So I wanted to give her a shout out.
Just before we leave that, not to do with the personnel, but how many students go through the AP courses?
So for our AP Spanish class, we had 7 who were in that course. Stats, we had 3, but only 2 of them actually took the AP exam because the third one, he joined the class late and wasn't able to get registered in time. And then we had 4 for lit, and I believe it was 5 for history. Yeah. Our April attendance numbers, overall, our attendance is staying relatively close to where it was. The only 11th grade went up a bit from the previous month, from March, and 12th grade went down slightly, but everybody else pretty much stayed right where they were at. And then for academic achievements, we had students sign up for the courses for next year, and we had a very high number of students who are interested in taking honors and AP level courses. I think more than we've had in the past. So that was really exciting to see how many kids are interested in some of the more difficult course offerings. I do have a breakdown of the completed AP testing and the numbers there. And then, like I said, we'll be finishing our lit Keystones this week. For discipline for April, we saw a pretty good, pretty sizable decrease, but we also, in April, the high schoolers were not in the building as much as middle school because PSSAs were going on, so that probably helped a bit, but overall, they've been doing a really good job following expectations and rules, and most of our like repeat infractions involve like being late to school or skipping a class. So it's fairly minor disciplinary things that we are dealing with the high school. Positive office referrals were low again, 12. But again, high school, they were out for quite a bit with PSSAs and spring break, so, we'll see bigger numbers for the month of May, I'm sure. College and career update, we have, for next year, we have 34 students registering for dual enrollment classes. For next year, that is our courses that we do in collaboration with LTRI-C. So that's exciting to see. We had a lot of interest in that.
Is that throughout the grades or just junior, senior?
It is juniors and seniors.
Okay, just junior, senior.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We took 26 kids to King's College on the 22nd. And we have some of our senior stats there of, where students are planning on going after they graduate. And 25 out of 30 of our students will be walking at graduation, in June. And, the students who will not be walking will be attending summer school in order to get their diploma. One student needs a couple of credits for English and social studies, which she needed those credits before she started here, so it wasn't like she failed, it was like she was missing those credits, so she knew going into the school year that she was gonna have to do summer school. So she was one student that we already knew was going to be in summer school. We had two students who were going to summer school only because of attendance issues. They went over the number of days that they needed to be here, so they will have to make up that time in summer school. And we have two students who are for attendance and for making up one or more failing classes. So only 2-3 kids are there because of academics. A lot of it is attendance, and we have a couple of seniors who really need to make sure they're in school for the next couple of weeks, because that's their attendance is what could be a problem for them, so. But we've been on them, we've been contacting their parents and talking to them, how important it is for them to make it through, get to school and, you
Do
know.
they acknowledge that too?
What's that?
Do the students acknowledge that also?
They do, yeah, most of them do. Some of them, they will say, yeah, I know, and then they don't follow through with
Yeah,
it, but.
no, I get it, they're kids.
But I think a lot of the ones that we're looking at as potential risks are gonna be fine. They just have to make sure they're coming to school.
Yeah.
And then, we have not yet determined our valedictorian because our GPAs are too close to call at this point. So we have, about 3 or 4 kids who are competing for that spot, so.
Cool.
We will have that information closer to the end of the quarter. And then we do have Waldo Santana, he's the investigator / deputy coroner, who will be speaking at the RCCS graduation ceremony this year. He is a 2015 graduate from Allen High School. He's worked in several organizations in the community, including the Lehigh Valley Chamber of Commerce and Oak Street Health. He's been serving in the coroner's office as deputy coroner and investigator for 2 years now. We've had kids who've gone to the coroner's office this year and last year. He's come and has spoke for our students before. I think it's a really good, will be a really good speaker for our kids. And we're excited to have him. And then going to professional development, we had our last staff PD day. We were looking at curriculum mapping, we were looking at final exam procedures for next year, end of year planning. And some other information, our seniors for their senior trip, they opted to not have a prom this year. Instead, they wanted to do an overnight trip to Kalahari, so they will be going on that next week. And we have high school students who will be attending a field trip through our partnership with Wildlands Conservancy on May 27th. And there's the rest of our events for the year.
Question for you. if I
Sure.
could. And I hope to articulate this the same way, but it's just trying to connect some dots.
Yeah.
So what I find super exciting, which you already highlighted, high number of students interested in taking honors and AP level courses.
Yeah.
And 34 registering for dual, each all that stuff I think is amazing. The connection I'm trying to make is, it seems often at the standardized testing level,
Yeah,
we have such, I'll just say, low percentages of students that are even, um, um, testing at levels they should be. So I
Yeah.
guess, me sitting here and just kind of connecting dots,
yeah,
like I'm seeing, once again, reports come out, standardized testing, pretty low levels of people. Then I see super exciting things, 34 students that are gonna do
yeah,
dual college credits,
yeah,
a number of students who, so I'm thinking if there's a number of students that are taking, who are interested in honors,
yeah.
they must be academically performing.
Yeah, well,
Anyway, I'm just trying to connect.
no,
There's something I'm missing personally.
I understand what you're saying. I think one of the disconnects between our students and what some of our data indicates is that a lot of the growth that we have seen is that the students who are maybe the underachieving category are making growth, but our students who are, kind of in the middle or above, they're not making growth because they're not being, we believe that they're not being challenged enough. They're not, we're kind of teaching down. And so one of the reasons for going for more of an honors level course is to offer more challenging and more rigorous content for them. With the hope that with that extra bit of challenge and rigor that we're teaching to their needs and not just focusing on our lower achievers.
I'm surprised these kids are still getting offers from colleges though. Again, this disconnect between the standardized
Mhm.
test results, the fact that we don't seem to have a problem getting them into the colleges.
Yeah,
So, the colleges aren't interested in it, or they tend to just. Or they just, we benefiting from the fact that they maybe are looking for Hispanic students or something. What's actually going on here? Do we know that? They seem to do all right now when they get into college too, don't they?
yeah, for the most part. I don't really have a good answer on that one. I know colleges, they will look at their academics and their transcripts. I'm not sure how much of, standardized testing they look at per
Yeah.
se. I think they look more at SATs. So I admit that could be where that disconnect is, but yeah.
And we have their SAT results, or they do that independently.
They do that independently.
So we don't know but
Unless
there's no
they-
way of collecting.
Yeah, unless they report it to us.
That would be interesting.
That would
to
be
know.
interesting to know, yeah.
Thanks
How much
for-
are the SATs?
In the past, our students received vouchers.
Yeah,
They waived the cost for most of them,
yeah,
And most of them would do that.
For all tries, all retests?
I'm not 100% sure.
Thank you, Josh,
Mhm.
for the high school report. Any other questions or comments for the high school report? Thanks again. Let's go to the elementary school report, Corey and Brittany.
Thank you. Good evening again to everyone. Starting off with our attendance for the month of April, we saw a very high attendance number, almost 97%. That was up over 2% from last month's board meeting. So a good shout out to the students and families for coming to school every day. We are in the midst of our marking period 4 benchmark testing. We started that on May 13th, and we're looking to wrap that up by the end of this week. So next month, I'll have some numbers to report out for that.
Looking at our discipline for April, we had 0 level 2s and 3 level 3s. Our positive office referrals for April did decrease from 219 to 173, but we're still at a great number of our staff celebrating our students for going above and beyond the expectations, especially with the PSSA testing and those anxieties being in place during the month of April. My PBIS newsletter is attached on the back, and here we just again share with the staff what we are seeing throughout the month with our infractions, our positive office referrals per grade level, and just kind of shouting out some of our staff for being amazing and recognizing one one another's successes and just in their dedication and patience through these months approaching summer break for our students.
Alright, moving on to college and career, we are wrapping up with our Safer Smarter in the second grade, and then hitting grades 1 and 2 with college and career lessons, so looking at my career path, talking about some of their strengths, areas of growth, levels of education that it would take to get towards certain, careers, and then also just career brainstorming of what careers are out there, what are they familiar with, what are they exposed to. During the month of April, our Spanish teachers took a different route, because of PSSA testing and all the interruptions with their schedule, that they brought in some science topics to their or to their Spanish instruction, and they were looking at pollination, pollution, some recycling, and then right now they are gearing up with grades 4 and 5 for career research, and especially in grade 5, they are going to be presenting that with a culminating project. For professional development, as I said earlier, most of April was PSSA prep. The early dismissal of PSSA prep, some mornings, some mid-afternoons prep periods. It was all about PSSAs gearing up for those tests last month. And then last board meeting, I did mention that we had our spring parent-teacher conferences. The numbers are there broken down. Overall, it was very similar to what we saw last year at this time. So, we're right around that 85% this year. We were at 86% last year. So percentage-wise, we're right in line. We had a couple less scheduled and attended this year, but overall, we had a great turnout. Alex, I know you always ask about virtual versus in-person, still seeing more virtual options, which I think is a great opportunity for our families to hop on during their lunch break or, before or after a work shift. So as long as they can, be present, hear about their child, ask some questions, get some information from us. And then celebrations, again, echoing the PSSAs, building wide, but especially those PSSA proctors, anybody who is involved with it. It does take a lot of time, attention, energy. There is a level of stress with it, but everybody at the elementary school is above and beyond expectations. And then to talk about Michael's report, one of the vacancies that was filled at the elementary school, just really want to give a shout out to Mrs. Vicenti for maintaining the order, balance, and functionality of her position and covering the receptionist position most of the year, just making sure that, we're staying afloat from the front door to, every building or every room in the building. And then also throughout the year, Miss Santana, Miss Ortiz, Mr. Garcia, and Miss Carvalho for their intermittent support, supporting the main office. We couldn't have functioned as well as we did without all of them. And then the list of PD events, next month I'll report out on our PD that we had today. Any questions, concerns before it passes the phone?
Thank you, Chloe. Thank you, Brittany, for the elementary principals report. Any questions, comments for the elementary principal? Okay, let's go to the middle school report.
It will not be presented for the board's attention tonight, but it was submitted on, the system of liquor sent that out for the board. I'd be happy to answer any questions about the report.
Let's take 30 seconds to a minute, please, to review the middle school report.
One more green.
Any questions or comments on the middle school report?
Yeah, I mean, the attendance for the 6th and 7th grade is still lagging. It's in the red, but it's not numerically not terribly far away from green, which is odd. Okay. And,
Any other questions for the middle school or comment on that report? And
Moving up 7 is June,
pardon the
moving up to April.
sorry.
Yeah, that will be on June 9th at 1 p.m. Right. Yeah, yes. In the secondary just.
Here, that's covered.
All right, thank you. Let's Let's go to the human resources. Michael, I'll pass the baton to you.
Thank you, Dr. Fonda. Good evening, everyone. I will begin with personal item for board approvals. We're requesting ratification of the new hire of maybe Suero Acevedo as receptionist at the elementary school, and to approve the hire of Mr. Ralph Andrews as middle school principal for the 26-27 school year. Additionally to that, we're asking the Board of Trustees to approve the temporary contracts for the summer school period beginning June 22nd through July 17th. I'll stop there for a motion.
Okay. So can we have?
It was Ralph Andrews was the other full-time.
Sorry?
The Ralph Andrews is the other full-time.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I found.
School principal.
You need one motion or you need like repeat for it?
Yeah, as, yeah.
New hires?
I'd like to approve the list of new hires, pages 1, top of page 2, on the table and as presented.
Thank you, Gus. We need a second for that motion, please.
Second.
Jill, thank you for the second. All in favor of approval of the new hires, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
And then read the contract for some school.
Okay, and next we need a motion, like,
About that's just resignation dismissals.
No.
Did we get an approval for the summer school contracts?
We haven't got that down on the list.
can we do that next? And then the
Just
resignation.
Michael, just a question, what's the difference between extended school year teacher and summer school? teacher?
Extended school teachers are teachers that help out with special ed. And so
Oh, yeah, in my motion, I expected to
I thought you were covering
cover
everything.
everything.
Yeah,
All of subtable A.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Again, sorry, because it was a
They
big
heard
long
you
list.
hire, I was like, okay, we will be typically hires this.
Yeah.
Hires and.
Okay.
Everyone there, so the B, subtable B is the only thing there's resignation for.
So,
Okay.
so my apologies, I thought it was, we did new hires only. I didn't hear the summer school part for it. So yes, since our last meeting, we had one resignation, but on the board report for Miss Mosley, instructional assistant at the elementary school. So therefore a motion.
So we need a motion to approve the one resignation that we have here. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to accept the resignation.
Second.
Thank you, John. Seconded by Jill. All in favor of accepting the resignation, please that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Since moving into our current staffing updates, we're recruiting for a part-time instructional assistant. And a full-time instructional assistant over at the elementary school. Or actually, I should say, there is one full-time elementary instructional assistant position that was offered. It was accepted. A contract has not yet been accepted until the budget is approved for next year. So at least that position has been filled. We are recruiting for a 6th grade science math position. We have interviewed, but we still haven't made a decision on that. And then we're still recruiting for a cafeteria aide, part-time cafeteria aide in our food service department. The HR committee proposed last month the revisions to the paid time off policy to enhance employee retention and recognize long-term service, providing additional days of vacation when staff hit 5-year milestones up to a cap of 20 days. And that's only for our hourly, full-time, 12-month employees. I'll stop there for a motion.
So that we need a motion for the paid time off policy for hourly, full-time, 12-month contract folks.
I like that motion as presented.
Thank you, John. We need a second. Thank you, Kathy. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
That concludes the HR report. Any questions?
Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
Oh, you're gonna cover the section 3, is that anything to have a motion?
No, that's all. It's just revision. It's all part of the
Okay, it's just
revision.
revision.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all part
No,
of the
sorry.
revision.
Any questions or comments for Michael for the HR report?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again. Let's go to the business office, please. Chuck?
Everyone should have received the business report, along with the financial reports for April. Thinking list, many did meet this past Friday to review those reports. Our unassigned fund balance is still sitting right around that 12.5%. The payment list was also sent out. About $971,000 dispersed during the month. Want to take any questions on anything in that section is report?
Yeah.
Or the payment list?
All of these changes come out with this.
I'll make a motion to do the payment list as presented.
Thank you, John.
Second.
Thank you, Gus. Second.
I reviewed that.
All in favor of approval of the payment list of the motion that we have on the floor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Yesenia. Abstentions? Motion carries.
Next, we're looking for the board approval on capitalized expenditure that is not in the budget this year. One of our reach-in refrigerators at elementary school is not functioning properly anymore, doesn't hold temp. And to fix it, it would make more sense to just buy a brand new one. However, more so than the actual refrigerator, we're more in need of a reach-in freezer. So we're asking the board to approve up to $3,000 for purchasing the reach-in freezer for Overton Elementary School.
And then reaching the refrigerator.
We do, they're basically the same size, and we still have a refrigerator at the elementary school, it's just we need more. Freezers. We have more freezer stuff.
So then we need a motion for the non-budgeted expenditure.
Up to $3,000, yeah.
To 3,000. Do we have a motion, please?
Yep, I'll make that motion.
Thank you, John.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Jill. Second. Thank you, Yesenia. We'll get you in a moment. Okay, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
We have 4 agreement proposals up for approval tonight, recommended by the Finance Committee. The first one being the Civil Engineering Services. That is T&M specifically. Down at the bottom of page 1 on the business report, highlights some of that which is in the agreement. So they did already work on the layout plan, which is $5,500. However, for anything that may come beyond that, which there's a good chance there may be where we may need to include him in some meetings with our architects or what have you, or once zoning kicks things up to us. From that time on, it would be time and materials just for the parking lot layout plan. So we would like to get the board's approval. Should we come to that, we can continue to use the T&M for the civil engineering services.
So what's the motion?
The motion is to approve this
The you,
agreement.
T&M Associates?
T&M as, right, engaging in T&M Associates as our civil engineers.
No, civil engineering services, okay.
Okay, so do we have a motion to approve the T and M Civil Engineering Services contract?
So moved.
Thank you, Gus. We need a second, please. Yesenia?
Yes.
Thank you. Want to second that motion? Yes, is that a second?
The second.
Thank you. All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed? Abstentions, motion carries. So Civil Engineering Services contract is approved. Next is,
Over onto page 2 in the business report, highlight some of the information from the other contract. So for renewing our contract with Nyman Associates for staffing services. Again, this is a renewal, so we do have a contract with them right now. Some of the rates went up slightly, some of the rates actually are staying the same. Again, I highlighted some of the rates in the business report, but in the actual agreement, you see the rates for everything. Not that we use them, not that we look for them. Whatever those positions.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve Lyman and Associates Inc. for staffing services.
thank you, John. We need a second on that motion, please.
Second.
Thank you, Jill. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions, motion carries. Staffing services.
Next is to ask the board for approval of renewing our contract that is ending for our student information system license and services, which is Sapphire. This would renew for another 4 years. They would lock the price in for 4 years, so that the contract that is ending now is a 5-year contract, and it was tiered, so every year would go up, slightly. So now they're willing to lock in this price for the next 4 years, and the price that is reflected in the contract is only about $40 more than what we pay now, so.
A good deal.
Unless the admin team wants to look into
Finding someone else, no, that.
finding another platform for this gazillion things that Sapphire does.
Implementation is significantly
Yeah, that's a
taxing
yearly
on an
process.
organization, yeah, so no.
How do you guys like it? How do your teachers like it? Sapphire. As a parent, I hate it.
Okay.
I would agree with that part.
As a parent or as a principal?
As a parent.
As a parent.
Administratively, I
Very,
like it.
very, it's not user friendly.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have a, little bit of education, so I could try to.
Oh, you're educated?
Yeah. Sometimes.
Whoa, that's amazing.
And it's,
But
yeah,
it's
I was
not-
just wondering.
What, in which particular aspect?
Well, it will put a 0 when things were not graded. So as a parent, you're yelling at your kid, how come you didn't turn that in? Well, I did. I'm like, no, because it says you have a 0, but that's just system. And it just didn't follow nicely. Like it,
All right, given that's persistent for more than just 1 year, right? Is there an alternate, or we're sort of stuck with these as providers?
Did we give them any feedback? Or did they collect any?
Feedback, I don't really use it. The one thing they don't do is our accounting software.
When we had somebody was, when
I
they
mean,
initially. rolled
Stephanie
out.
and the IT team is pretty fluent in Sapphire, and they're able to reach out when there are questions. I can say from an administrative standpoint, I haven't received any direct feedback from our parents about struggles with the functionality. That doesn't mean that they don't exist. But I also know from working with Sapphire now for the past 5 years that when we do experience hiccups, whether it be with reporting or dictionaries or whatever it may be, they're generally responsive to, the coding on the back end to address whatever may need to be updated or revised. It's not as easy as ending an agreement and starting a new one. You are migrating
Oh,
the student information data from the beginning of the school as much as possible. It's not all there. Some of it still exists, you know, in Jose's office on floppy disks from the beginning, but
On floppy disks?
allegedly.
Yeah.
Um,
You remember those?
Floppy disks.
Wow, it's a flash from the past.
but when we moved from MMS to Sapphire, it was a year long,
Oh, yeah.
well, first of all, just a year long, consideration of all the platforms, demos,
Right,
all the things. Then once we actually agreed to go with Sapphire, I believe it was a 3 or 4 month implementation in which the administrative team was involved in hour and 2 hour long implementation meetings throughout the entire summer to get the platform established for our school. So school information systems are a huge undertaking. There's pros and cons of all of them, right? There's Sapphire, there's Power School, there's Skyward, there's, you know, there's some big names out there, but also the Power Schools of the world come with a cost that's much more than what Sapphire is willing to log in or lock in for us.
yeah. I hate to say
So,
this, but
right.
we're little gnats, right?
Mhm.
900 students-ish. I mean, there's 900 people in one grade. in our
Right.
Schools,
Right,
so. Yeah, okay, now that I'm hearing that this kind of feedback exists, is there a mechanism to get them to turn things around a little bit better, or
Or is
are we repeating same thing this year, that caused some of the issues that would be coming about this, you know?
I mean, how much of it's on our end, the need to educate parents about using this?
that's some of it, and,
Okay.
I know our high school secretary has had talked to me at length, and maybe you too, Josh, about what, cause she's used it both as an employee and as a parent.
Right,
And she has some nice ideas of how to train parents on what and how to access the system. So I think part of it is parent education
Do
on
we have
our.
data on how many people are accessing Sapphire
So
besides teachers and.
we do, because parents have to access the community portal to complete re-enrollment. So that's where they go in to do their annual acknowledgements of our policy. That's where they log in to update
Right.
emergency contacts. So there is, I'm sure there's a usage report that we probably could.
For specifically for the grade.
Yeah, to look at the LMS and to see where and how often parents are accessing the grade portal,
Mm.
because some of it may just be teaching them that this exists, right?
Right.
This is where you may log in,
Right.
this is what it will look like and see
Right.
like. And a part of that back end though is ensuring that our teachers are updating grades with fidelity and routinely and predictably, so parents know that they're seeing the most accurate assessments of their children when they're logging into Sapphire. Can you two speak to any feedback you may have gotten on Sapphire?
I have not heard anything from a negative standpoint, like
okay,
teacher or administrator wise.
The only feedback I get is that it can be a little bit clunky sometimes to use, but like, it works if it really needs to do. I think, there's a little bit of a need in the middle high school to do a little bit of trainings for some people next school year. And some updates for it, but other than that, I think it's fine.
okay, and I mean, the target of the training sounds more like parents rather than teachers, but.
Yeah.
A little of both.
Yeah, mostly parents, but I do think there's some teachers who just will need a little bit of a refresher and some clarification on some things on
All right. Yeah, cause I mean, that's not the first feeling I got from when I was listening, like, you know, it sounds yucky, that's the technical term. Okay, and, yeah, it's a very scientific term, yucky. Ask any kid, he can explain what yucky is. So, if that's the case, it could be based on misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Lack of training or education on it. Or, you know, one session giving an example of how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
You know,
And
it's
the other thing with Sapphire too is there's a lot on there, so it's a
Right.
lot to learn and to pick up for teachers, for everybody, so but that's any system like that would be the same.
And I understand that, but to me, if the feedback is coming back negative, now you're saying you haven't heard much.
I mean, from a parent side, it's
Yeah,
typically what is my username and password?
Yeah, login.
okay.
That's it. No,
And
like
then,
if they're getting
leave
in
me
there.
alone, I'm good.
Yeah, they're.
All right, well, if that's the case, then I heard something very different, but.
I think I was agreeing with Alex and just my perspective as a parent, working with my children. With it, it's,
Well, that'll teach you to be a parent.
I do well, you know, maybe 9 years too late for that.
So there. Okay, I got it, fair enough.
Okay, so do we have a motion for approval of this contract?
Yeah, I'll make
For
a
the Sapphire.
motion to approve a 4-year contract extension with Sapphire.
Thank you. Gus,
Second.
second. Thank you. All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay,
Last contract, actually, whether you wanna do it in one motion or do it in two, it's a matter, but it's kind of a two-parter. So if, you may recall, there was a 3-year AHIRA report that was issued back in February from the folks we had come in and inspect our buildings. Section D of that 30,000-page report, specified in detail areas that were of main concern, really pretty much predominantly in the elementary school. They came back for a 6-month inspection, slapped a bunch of Mr. Yuck stickers on all the pipes that are exposed, which I'm sure the elementary school appreciates that. So we did shop out, you know, what it would cost to take care of, obviously, first and foremost, anything in that section D part, which really is about 90 to 95% of what's in the entire report. And so that we got the best price we got, which was from J&J Abatement. Clearly, they're certified and licensed with the state to remove asbestos. Came in at $14,975, which for a good price. We had run this by Eagle Industrial, who the board had approved to engage with as our third-party administrator, if you will, of AHIRA. So we ran that by them. They thought that was a good price, looked at what was in the proposal, thought that would be good. They would be on site when this does take place, this abatement service. So we're looking for the board's approval, number one, on the proposal of the $14,975, so the agreement itself. The second part of that would be to actually assign the funds up to $20,000. This way, because this will have to take place over the summer, which is another fiscal year, it's really not hitting our operating budget. There are funds that are being assigned now, and going up to the $20,000 would be just in case there's anything that comes up during that process that may go over the $14,975. We don't anticipate anything, anything substantial. They pretty much covered it all when they, what we actually did was gave them that AHIRA report, each company. So they were able to look specifically at every area that needed to be addressed.
What's the maximum we want to do this again?
20,000, I think, is fine.
I think maybe we'll do 2 separate motions.
Sure, you can. Yeah, one's for the proposal, one is to assign the funds. Yep. Absolutely.
So I'll make a motion to approve, grant for the J&J abatement up to $20,000 for the items listed.
And that's the proposal.
That's the
Right.
for the proposal. Thank you, John. We need a second on that, please.
Second.
Thank you, Kathy. All in favor of approval of the proposal for J&J abatement, please say aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
And then follow-up motion. I'm sorry, what amount do you want again?
20,000.
Same thing, okay.
Mhm.
To move $20,000 to the fund to support this.
Thank you, John. We need a second on that motion, please.
Second.
Thank you, Jill. All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Next, we have a resolution regarding the school project. So this resolution basically allows the school to reimburse itself. If and when the time comes that we get the long-term financing, the bond financing, what we can do is reimburse ourselves up to bottom of page 1 in that first resolution, the $30 million. So essentially, costs that we may be incurring right now while we do not have this financing. When I say costs, I mean like anything being capitalized, which would be our buying the building, any kind of architectural services, planning services, that type of thing. What we can do is once that bond financing goes through, we would be using that money to pay us ourselves back some of that money that we were using up until the point that we got that done. So this resolution just basically is empowering the school to do that.
Thank you, Chuck. Do we have a motion for approval of the resolution number 2026-002?
I'll make that motion as presented.
Thank you, John. We need a
Second.
second, please. Thank you, Yesenia. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Alright,
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
And then lastly, we are presenting the budget. The budget for a first read, this is the school-wide budget for the 26-27 school year. Last page, as always, the last page of the budget just highlights some of the aspects of the budget. We did have a meeting this past Friday, several board members were in attendance. Certainly, take any questions between now and the second meeting the next month.
yeah, this is equal to the one that we discussed. Right?
Exactly, yeah, there's nothing really changed from Friday.
Okay,
Any questions, comments on the budget? Anything else for Chuck? Any questions, comments for the business report? Thank you. Thanks again, Chuck. Let's move to public input. And at the moment, seeing no public,
they're sleeping.
yes, let's go to new business. Do we have any new business for tonight, for our board meetings? Seeing no other new business, do we have a motion to adjourn? So we have, okay, thank you, Alex. We need a second, please. Yesenia?
I do, second.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was
All right,
looking,
all in
was
favor
waiting
of
for you.
adjourning, say aye, opposed, abstentions.
Of course, I'm waiting for you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Yesenia.
Thank you, Yesenia, for joining us.
So you and